Go ahead.
All right. Thank you for joining us, SB Barber Morning Show. And it is the business of everything is political, and it is the business of Wednesday Best Resources. All right. Everyone knows that this is Black History Month, and how better to kick it off than to bring you knowledge. To bring you knowledge, not rhetoric, but knowledge. To inform you, not entertain you, but enlighten you and take you to another level that will sustain you beyond just 24 hours or 30 days out of a month. We're going to get right to this issue. We are broadcasting live from Loc Stars. Loc Stars is located in, it's really kind of weird when I say South Minneapolis, but it's 217 Oliver Avenue South. And so if you want to stop in, feel free to do so. But as you log on, be sure and share in social media. Our commentators are Commissioner Melita Kimmons. She's typically with us on a Wednesday, but she's not on location with us here today. But we have Commissioner Kenya Weathers, and so I want him to greet everyone.
Greetings, everyone. This is Commissioner Kenya Weathers. Thought I'd come out and have a conversation with the community. Trying to do my part and trying to make the awareness that what's really going on and pay attention to what's important for our communities so that we can start to have some real conversation. Real talk, I like to call it the naked truth. So with that being said, maybe we can talk to some of the people that's in here today. We're going to be heading it off with these Rastafari about these dreads and see what comes out of it.
Our featured educator is none other than Michael Kuykindall, and he is a Master Loctician and educator. If you check out our GMN Live TV Facebook page, I've acknowledged that you all are welcome. And I also wanted to know, did you know that you only outlaw what's a threat? Circuit Judge Adalberto Jordan rules banning dreadlocks in the workplace is not discrimination. This is law. Wow. Hashtag how dare you. All right. What we're going to do is also we've invited Master Dre to, he owns Loc Stars, and he's been doing this. As a matter of fact, when I first started wearing my locks, it was Master Dre. It was Master Dre. It was Master Dre. Someone's getting my attention. Happened to be my husband, frankly. But Master Dre started my locks. And at that particular time, it was important that I have a purpose. And I didn't have a purpose. I was used to wearing straight hair. But as you can see, I'm in love with my locks. And so you're going to hear more about that, but we're going to get into this dialogue for those of you who happen to be on your lunchtime, and so we don't want to delay this. All right, let's do this. Now you have an opportunity to see what's happening here on site. You have an opportunity to see what's going on site right here at Loc Stars. And I'm taking my time because we want to give Master Michael Kuykindall an opportunity to just get ready to talk with us about why it's important that you understand what is going on. Now, just a moment ago, I didn't have the radio mic in my hand, so it was all about Facebook Live. And so for those of you that may have missed a little bit of this, that's all right. We'll make sure that we adjust everything and keep you chimed in. Did you know you only outlaw what's a threat? Court Judge Adalberto Jordan rules banning dreadlocks in the workplace is not discrimination. This is law. Hashtag, how dare the courts? This is an assault against our culture as blacks. This is Black History Month. It's on the map, but this is an education and an empowerment that we will bring you up to speed on. And so, all right, stay with me, stay with me. All right. Are we able to talk now?
Yeah.
All right, all right. May I pass right by you? It's okay for me to stand right here? All right. Should we turn that off? It's coming through the
Hold on,
your
that's
broadcast.
Joe's talking.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. Joe, someone call you back, okay?
All right.
Okay. Who? Where's that? Oh, okay.
Well, this is what is happening right here in Loc Star's Natural Hair Salon.
Yeah. All right. All right.
All right, we've got to get this going.
Yeah, please.
All right. All
You hear the
right.
radio?
We can hear you now.
All right. How y'all
All right.
doing? How you doing?
Go ahead and greet Facebook Live as well as our radio listeners.
Hello, everybody. It's Mike. I'm at the shop working. Happy New Year. Yeah, I'm just doing this. I do this every day.
Can you?
Yeah. I don't know. What's up?
We're talking about Black History Month, and we decided to kick off Black History Month with the education. Just starting out with the culture of our hair. And who better? You are an educator. And he is also my loctician. And Dre started my locks, my goodness, years and years and years ago. And being who I am, I wanted to have style to it, to adjust to it. And all he could say was, go over next door. And Mike, he can do the styles. And that's the way it's been ever since. And Michael also takes care of my maintenance. But let's get to the point of all of this. We're talking about the ban, the fact that our locks have been banned in the workplace. Kenya and I talked about this a little bit earlier from the standpoint of, how would you say it? How did you put it, Kenya?
Is there a religious connection?
I need you to speak louder.
The question that we talked about was, is there a religious connection? What is the connection between the dreadlocks and Rastafari? Is there, anytime someone passes a law, most of the time, not all the time, but it's because they're trying to prevent you from knowing something. So is this going back, is this the connection with King Solomon? Going back into the history of that and finding out what is it about the dreadlocks that really has people nervous to a point where you just want to outlaw it. I mean, think about it. What is the connection? Is it something deeper beyond the color, the texture, the style? What is it? And I think it's a moment that we need to reflect on that and look at the history of where dreads come from. And I think to get that answer where dreads come from, we need a doctor in that field. Is there a doctor in the house about dreads? Somebody can teach us about dreads today? Anybody? What about you, young lady? What about the tactician over there? Can you take care of it?
What I think, and I'm working on that right now, is working on my documentary on locks, and I'm researching the history and trying to go as far back as I could with locks. I'm pretty sure it's some type of spiritual, I don't want to say religious connection, but a spiritual thing involved with locks, and on some new stuff, say somebody hating on locks, but I think it's more so a lot of people that don't understand what locks are, and a lot of people like to judge what it is because they don't think people wash their hair, they don't think people take care of their hair, and it's not necessarily that. I think it's mainly the misconception of that is why people don't want locks in their workplace currently. I think it's more so people don't understand that you can maintain locks and it's healthy, and there's a lot of people think it's bugs and dirt and stuff like that in locks, so they just automatically assume to just shut it out, and I think it's more so a misconception about it as far as work, but I'm sure there's a deeper spiritual thing involved with it as well, that I don't even think the people that's hating on it understand what it is. I can't, it's all opinion right now, but once I'm done with doing my research with my documentary, I'm sure I have more factual information to give as far as that topic. And going back to Rastafari, and Rastafari is a spiritual, or I don't know if you want to classify it as religion, but everyone has their own personal connection with their hair, and it's up to them in the end what they want to do with it. But I've had my locks for about 19 years, and this has been a journey for me, sharing information about it, learning about myself and my connection to the universe with my locks.
You said something, and I wanted to jump in on several points, but we'll deal with the spiritual part on next Wednesday, and I'm going to be talking about that. But when you make reference to society in some kind of way is associating wearing locks with hygiene, a hygiene issue, well, you know what, let's deal with that just a little bit, because when you really think about Commissioner Melita Kimmons made a statement that she is a black woman from a stolen tribe brought to a stolen land, meaning the United States. And that stuck with me very strongly because, first of all, there was no issue with the hygiene as far as the hair was concerned when we were considered a commodity. When you can no longer make money off of a human race the way you were accustomed to doing so, then that becomes a threat. When a society, a culture begins to awaken and recognize its own strength, its own presence, its prominence, and then begin to educate concerning that and understand that we should have the freedom of expressing who we are as a black people. And that should not be something that a judge rules, a court would rule. A judge has no place in this.
Right.
That's a slave master's mentality. And we are not slaves. Now, you've heard us make reference on the broadcast that it took only recently, 1983, that Mississippi, which held out the longest for no longer having it legal that they could still have slaves. I mean, that's in our Constitution. And I still got to look at that because Mississippi held out beyond the other states. There was Tennessee, and then, there was Kentucky in there. But Mississippi held out the longest. And so because according to what's being taught in constitutional law, class by Sharon Brooks, she had acknowledged that Mississippi was still standing there with slavery. And that's insanity in this day and age. In this day and age, that's absolutely insanity. And even if Mississippi came around in 1983, that's still absolutely insanity. And yet no one's talking about that. But yet right now, everyone's in an uproar over the immigration. As a black people, you have to know your place. You have to know when the battle really belongs to you and when it is really your time and your responsibility. We're going to talk about that. We're going to have a real good conversation on that matter. You've said, where is clergy? You said, where is the prophet's voice? Well, I'm going to take you there. We're not going to do that today to help you understand when it is at your benefit to be in a protest and a march, and when it is not. And so, again, talking about our hair, what are our educators saying in the school systems? What are they teaching our black children? That's a question, and I'm waiting on some answers. Our children, do they really know who they are? Do they really know that they have a right to wear their locks? What's going on when a child can't walk into a black school, meaning the students are black, the educators are black, maybe some are white, and yet that child is still ridiculed for wearing locks, still talked about? Okay, let's not even stop on our locks. What about, do you hate your skin color? Have you even gotten comfortable with the fact that you're black? We've still got sisters that are lightening their skins. We've got a lot to deal with, but it's going to come through educating, teaching one another. A lot of the conversations that you hear in the barbershops and in the hair salons, etc., well, it's time for us to hear from our men and from our women and from our educators. This is our time if you really know it. If you really glean spiritually what is really going on, the shakeup and everything that's happening, you'll begin to understand some things. There's a strength and a resilience in us that has been designed and purposed. We've been kept by a strength and a hand that only God could have done and is doing. All right, let's get back to what do you want our viewers to know as it relates to, we're still, I'm going to be, there are links on GMN Live TV for those of you that want to check out the broadcast Facebook Live right now. You can go to GMN Live TV. But as far as this ruling is concerned, I was sitting in this chair and Master Michael brought it to my attention and it just took me for a loop. I said, that's too close to home. That's a little bit too close. That's too bold. That's too close to home. And this is a Cuban that ruled, that sat at the, the circuit court judge is a Cuban. And the ruling was 3-0. And it had to do with the fact that a female, and it's on our Facebook page, had been hired. The offer was on the table. She was hired. However, when she walked into work, and you can see the photo, her hair is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous in her locks. And yet, the offer was rescinded. Really? My hair? All right.
I'm trying to remember what I was thinking earlier, but I think with hiring, I think that they passed it because a lot of people are winning lawsuits, and I think there's a lot of money involved with it for the government and Congress and circuit courts to be involved. I'm sure somebody paid for that. You know what I mean? I know it's big money involved when it starts to get political. It seems small, but I'm pretty sure somebody paid for that, because I know a few people that, even here in Minneapolis, I have a client that sued HCMC for discriminating against his hair. He was growing his locks and he was being discriminated against, and I believe he won a lawsuit from his managers or whoever it was that was discriminating against his hair. And so I believe that may have something to do with it, because it has to be legal, it has to be in court for somebody to win. So I'm gonna assume that that's one of the reasons why it's in courts, so that people can't sue anymore for it. But I still think it doesn't make sense to me that anybody could, hair. It's just not right. What it does for me, it just makes me want to create my own business and hire my own and do things like that. Create our own thing when it comes to work.
Now you tapped into something. Stay right there. As a culture of people, as Black people, especially right now, the condition that our nation is in good, bad, or indifferent to the vote, etc. But when there's a shaking up, it's a time of really recognizing what's really going on, because anytime when you go after aspects of our culture, I'm not aware, you all correct me, I'm not aware of any cultures that have really been dealt with in the manner that we have. Anytime we make one step forward or two steps to the left, it is on front pages, it's banned, it's considered to be that we are revolting, and all of these kind of languages are used in a very negative way that does not allow us the room to do the things that we need to do. We have a right. Our voices are important. And if our children don't see us taking these opportunities to educate and bring about the awareness and stop living in a dungeon as though we are a secret, as though we are a mystery, as though, we don't have a right to be heard, it's time. And so when you talk about being enterprising, and sometimes it takes things like this that will shake us up, but we still have a right to recognize that that's an atrocity, that a ban would be put on our hair. Okay, so what's next? Now, when I put this out, I expected my Facebook page to be filled with comments, but no one's commenting. No one's talking about it. No one's saying a single thing about it. Not a single thing. Aren't you concerned for your children? Come on, let's talk about this.
I think people they don't understand the seriousness of what it means, because like someone said earlier, the next thing you know, they're going to be discriminating against people's weight, or discriminating against what people wear, discriminating against how tall you are, how short you are. It's only the beginning. All it takes is people to get the information and do something about it. We have social media now, so it's easy to share things like this. I'm glad that you were able to, do a session on this, because it's extremely important. Like I said, I'm in the early process of working on my documentary. Eventually, I'll probably do another interview when I'm further along with it. But this, I'm going to interview and go to different places in the U.S., different cities and ask the same questions that you're asking me, because I know people are talking about it, but it's only a small amount of people that talk about it. And I don't, it's just one of those things that's people are gonna find out eventually about, and hopefully it's not too late, you know. But I don't know what else to really say about that.
What is happening is it's creating awareness and conversation. And, I would love it if you would place your comments there. What are you thinking? What is this stirring in you? What are your comments? I can't see my Facebook page, so I don't know what comments are being made right now. Commissioner, can you see the comments?
Quite a few.
Okay, tell me what did they say?
Got the thumbs up, and basically saying, I saw 3 of them say, keep talking about it. And like you said about the awareness, this is the most important thing. Like the brother said, by the time people really find out about it, it'd be too late. So I think we're on top of this early in the game, and to continue to push this information out, because it's the old saying, to be aware is to be alive. So that's how we survive, making each other aware and to push forward.
All right, we're going to move around, and maybe we can get some comments here. I'm not
I got your good side too, man.
Sister Deborah, is there anything you'd like to share? All right. Is there anyone that would like to make a comment as it relates to our locks being banned? It is a law that we cannot wear dreadlocks in the workplace. Can you come over here? It looks beautiful too. Yes. Come on. All right. Just so that you know, this is on our radio station as well as Facebook Live, and it will eventually show up on our YouTube page. But you look like a very young woman.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's good to have the millennials in the midst. So what's your take on this?
Well, my take on this, especially being in the workforce, I'm in the military. And I actually used to come here to get my locks done and to get them retwisted. And Miss Erica I asked her to cut all my hair off because going into the military, they told me that it wasn't allowed. It was matted, unkept pieces of hair, is how they put it.
Wait a minute now. Wait.
Unkept
Wow.
hair.
Okay, let's do it.
That matted part, huh?
Right.
You get
Let me
to
take
breathe.
my time. I have to breathe.
Gotta accept it.
I'm pulling on you. Okay. Okay, according to what you see, the standard in the military is that we shave the hair, and this is how it is done, period. Okay, you wanted to go into the military, so you complied to that.
Exactly.
But that's not how they did it with you. They said,
Your locks are not allowed. They're unkept, uncleaned pieces of matted hair.
all right now,
And that's
if
not
that
right.
doesn't cause you to come out of your comfort zone and pay attention to what's really going on at home, in your home. Come on, what are your children? If we don't stand up and deal with these issues, what is our next generation going to expect? Where's their leadership? It was never meant to be the government, not the president. It's you, mama, daddy, elders, preachers, the role models in the community. And so here we are in cold Minnesota. I was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I come out of the lineage of the Black Wall Street, and I ended up here. Never even thought about Minnesota. But my mother took ill, and so I ended up relocating here. I probably couldn't say these things if I were not wearing locks, because I wouldn't understand it. But now I understand when Dre said to me, Master Dre said, "Prophetess, do you have a purpose in this?" And I'm like, "Purpose? What?"
Right.
For the best of interest.
But don't do anything unless I do have a purpose. But that threw me.
Right.
Because it wasn't just the straight, relaxed hair, flowing, standing appointment, whip it this way for this event, whip it that way for that situation. This was a commitment. This had something to do with my spirituality. And I was being challenged. Woman of God, are you ready? I grabbed you by a lock of your hair for a purpose such as this. So that's from 2010 until today, 2017, and yet now this is coming out, and you think I don't have anything to say about this? Or to call us out so that we can help one another? Now, there's a handsome brother. He's dressed to the max, and I'm loving the look. And he's got a short fro, and that looks good, and that looks good. And I mean, we have such versatility. It's not just that we are in our locks, but what about our fros? We've even been told, cut your fros. Every time it has to deal with our culture. Okay, so y'all thought this was going to be entertainment, that we were going to kick off Black History Month with just old things that we've talked about in the past, that we were going to pull out a record of, Malcolm X, and I'm not putting down anybody, or, Martin Luther King, and I love him and everything that he did, but we live right now. Who are we now? Our children are at stake. Our culture is at stake. And I believe it's a God mandate. There's an awakening. We are a powerful, beautiful people. For unusual reasons, our color intimidates so many people. Nations are intimidated by our color. All right? But here we are. All right. So you made that comment. So how did that make you feel as you think back on it, when you look back on that?
Well, just knowing me and so many other people, I keep my locks together, clean, fresh, retwisted, and it made me feel like they're not just rejecting me, but my whole race. That's what naturally comes out of my head. Just like a white woman, that's what naturally comes out of her hair is straight. That's just what so happens to come out of her head. So it felt like they weren't just rejecting my hair, but rejecting me as a person. Like, my hair would stop me from doing my job or performing the way they want it to be done. And like they say, you're not your hair, you're the person inside. And my hair, if anything, makes me stronger. So when they cut it, I kind of felt the Samson moment. It cut my power away from me. But it's nice that the military now is considering locks. The Army hasn't really considered it. They've changed their description on it, but they haven't changed it totally. So they haven't completely changed it, the law against it. But the Marine Corps has accepted locks so far.
Wow.
So that's one thing. And then the Air Force is considering.
The Marine Corps has accepted it, but a Cuban judge banned it. See, I'm not an attorney. I have to stay in my lane, so I can't really touch that right at this moment in that respect. But I find this quite interesting, and this should open up this Pandora's box for us as a culture, no matter what. It still is an issue of our skin.
Absolutely.
Who we are as a Black race. That's what we need to really understand. It's an assault on our race, our humanity, our brilliance, and all of the things that cannot be held back. When you can no longer make money off of a race of people, that kind of changes things. So here we are. Let's walk over here just for a moment. This is Miss Erica. As beautiful as should be. What are you thinking as you're listening?
Well, I can say that for me, the experience of locks is new. I've recently cut in natural, so it's a completely different experience for me. But since I've come in to work at Lock Stars, I see the strength that it holds. I've been taught more about the care and what power it gives to people. So that's where I'm at.
Okay. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. All right.
You can't let him get away.
I know.
Let me get away. Hello.
Wow. You've been listening.
Yes, I've been listening.
And first of all, it was a shock to you and news to you that there is a law that bans wearing dreadlocks in the workplace. In other words, it's up to the employer. So an employer can fire you, can rescind your offer if you show up with locks in your hair. So we'll just leave that alone. But what is this making you think? I mean, we're kicking off Black History Month. And this is nowhere near what people thought it was going to be.
It's shocking.
Coming from us.
It's shocking for them to come up with a ban to discriminate because of the hair. So I guess the next thing is, I mentioned my size would be next. So it's just shocking. There's nothing else I can say. How can we just discriminate against my hair?
And I mean, who's really at the helm that's, identifying these kinds of things? But let's just keep it. This is Black History Month, so let's just stick with who we are as Black people. The fact that we can be so easily discriminated against just being Black.
Just being ourselves.
Just being ourselves. There's things in our culture that people don't understand, but we do. And we should have the liberty and the freedom of expression. So, as a Black father,
Hey, express yourself. Don't be afraid of who you are. Be proud that we're Black. We're Americans. Let's go for it. Have a good day.
all right, thank you. Thank you. All right. We're not going to prolong this. We wanted to give you a good taste, a good dose. You know what? We have Master Michael. Michael, excuse me. If we step out, will we lose our connection going next door? I don't think so. Okay, we're going to
Good meet you, brother.
listen, I know I love you all because it's cold. But we're going right next door. Wow. Wow.
I got your good side. I ain't even hit you yet. I ain't even hit you yet.
It's Black History Month, February 1, and we decided to kick this off a little bit different than pull out
Protect the privacy. I got you.
things that people already know. This is about my hair. Really? There's a ban and a law against dreadlocks in the workplace. It's a law. This, wait a minute now, hold on. Her head went back just a little bit there. That a Cuban 11th Circuit Court judge ruled for this ban. A Black female received her job offer. They were just taken by her. But she showed up for work, and her photo is in Essence Magazine. The links are on our GMN Live page, Facebook, for you to see for yourself. This is what's happening. This is an insult to to us as a black people, this is an assault on us as a black people. And her hair is just absolutely gorgeous. But I want to take it another level when you think about it from a spiritual standpoint. Everybody's locks aren't just perfect. And in some scenarios, if we weren't black in America, we'd probably not be the perfect locks too. This is an education. This broadcast was to enlighten you, to take you to another level, and to inspire you for who you are. Is it the locks or is it the color of my skin? I think you better hear me. I couldn't do this, sir. It's okay, we won't put you in the camera. All right.
I got you covered.
I'm telling you, I would not be wearing my locks if it were not for Master Dre. This is the Master Loctician. No.
It's the master right here.
This is
there you
the
go.
Master.
There you go.
He's inspired
That's beautiful.
Michael. He's inspired so many. He stood alone by himself for a long, long, long time. Salons started opening up, and in a lot of cases, initially, money makers. You know what I'm saying? Wait, let me rephrase that. For the style. And people would switch up, and they wouldn't wear their locks anymore. It was for that week or that month, but there are those of us that it became a spiritual thing, the longevity in it. Why did you start?
Oh, hello.
And thank you, because you remember I sat in your chair, you blew my mind, and you said, "Prophetess, do you have a purpose?" And I was like, "What? A purpose?" He said I had to have, and I always have a purpose, but I didn't at that moment. And it wasn't until I sat down and grabbed a book and looked through it, and there was Alice Walker, and I didn't even see that until I got ready to get up. And I flipped it up, and the scripture was Ezekiel 8:3.
I got you covered.
8:3. Y'all read that. But why did you do this? I mean, you've held on to it, and it's legacy. So just talk to the people. They don't get to hear him. He's such a gentle, powerful spirit.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm so happy and honored that you feel that way about me. I'm just keep it short because I really am a shy guy, and I like to be behind the scenes. I love natural hair. First of all, I love you, Prophets, for coming in here, sharing your energy and your light on the shop family, your friends, everybody that comes to you. You really have blessed us with your grace and your presence and your energy. Thank you for that. The question at hand is, why did I start? I started because of my kids. That was my purpose. My kids were the most important thing to me when they were newborns, and they still are to this day. Going through the journey of being a young father, young businessman, I had to have a purpose to stay grounded and rooted, and I think the Creator just showed me through your hair and your struggles where you find peace and joy in your kids, and that's absolutely what I found. It was shown to me, and I'm living it, and I'm blessed to just be a part of the natural community. I embrace it. That's what I wake up and I do every day. This is my purpose. It's my purpose. When people look for a purpose in their life, this is my purpose. To serve God and to serve His people. And need God through my work and talents of mine. Being able to create or keep going what is natural. Keeping all things natural.
Keeping all things natural. We'll just stop right there with you. He gave us this time, and that was so precious. Anything you'd like to share? Anything?
No, thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right.
You ready to cut?
No, we're going to go. Just stay there.
I got you.
Hi, we are walking back to the second building for Loc Stars. Oh, I love you all. How powerful this is. As we are wrapping up this. Kenya,
You good. You good, so go ahead. Go ahead.
Come on, let's have a seat with me. Let's have a seat with me. And let's turn the camera around. Let's turn it. Yes. Here's what we're going to do. All right, come on over here close with your chair. Now I get an opportunity to see some of the comments. Can you hold on to this? And let's see if we can do this. All right, we're looking at, people, we're looking at some of the comments. Get your face in here. All right, everything is political. Wednesday. Everything is political. And again, kicking off Black History Month, we wanted to make sure that you all know what's going on and what people are thinking. Okay, that's the lady. That's the queen party. What are some of the comments saying? Let me put my glasses on. Can you see them?
We'll let you operate. I'll hold your mic for you.
Okay.
How about we switch? How about I MC for a minute while you go through your Facebook?
Thank you, Benita Carter. It's so important that you're chiming in. We appreciate it. You're hitting some good questions here because this is what's going to cause us to think and pay attention. Her comment, how can they approve something like this, meaning the ban on locks? How can that be legal? And I'm kind of reading these comments backwards here. It's both. Wow. And that is correct. My daughter's watching, Jasmine. Benita said, I remember being offered a position in a corporation. They said they would hire me if I was willing to get rid of my afro. Yeah, you heard us talk about that. So this is deeper than just our hair. You got to think about our color, the race, our culture. We are a black people, Then a comment, they hate us. Comment, amen. This is always a different standard for black people. Somebody's on here preaching now, come on. And then there are others that are chiming in. Emily McGee Hatfield, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Calvin Woods, thank you for watching. Mary Christians, thank you for watching. LaDonna Nelson, thank you for chiming in. Claude James Sr., oh, we love your father and the family. You know where I'm coming from. I don't want to stop right there. I go way back with you all. The comment is funny how there are no outlaw or bans on Caucasian people personal looks. Michael, interesting. Someone made the comment. Funny how there are no outlaws or bans on Caucasian people's personal looks.
Well, if they have locks, they're going to discriminate against them too. But other than that, that's true. That's deep because we special.
That's right.
You know what I mean? I kind of think it is a spiritual thing or like an energy thing that we bring when we have locks, and I think people are afraid of it or I don't know. We don't know what it really is. Well, I kind of know what it is, but it's an energy thing, and can't stop me.
All right. Can you believe Dre got on the camera? And yes, he did. Wow. You know what, you all, I would hope that when we come off the broadcast on Facebook Live, we'll be back with you next Wednesday, and we'll bring another aspect of this to you. And not just this, but we as a people. Again, the question is, what are we teaching our children by being silent? Our millennials, our teenagers, our young people, they're watching these comments. They're watching these comments, and what you have to say is standing out to them. And, you know, they want leadership. They want leadership. And we are their leadership. There is a time and a season for silence. You know, there's a time when we hold our peace. One goes forward, another pulls back. I'm in my season. You can't buy me as a prophet. You can't pay me to say what I say. If I have to stand alone, I'll stand alone. But I don't believe that I'm standing alone. So I'm calling spiritual people, you know, those that are followers of Jesus Christ. You really think he got caught up in how we wear our hair? You know, did he really stop to maintain his locks? Did he really have time for all of that? It is a time of awakening and arising. You know, from the housetops, from the valleys and in the caves and on the streets. And when we empower our people, I believe that the warriors in our people, you know, Michael, you made comment one evening when I was sitting in the chair and you were talking about the warriors, the killings that are going on. And I loved what you had to say about the mere fact that when leadership is lacking, then that kind of activity does happen. But when they really understand that there is a strength in being warriors in our race, there's a place for that, you know, and we're going to be talking about that even more so. So, you know, during this time, I know that there are men that are listening, and yes, the killings have been happening, but I'm trusting that during this time that you will take heed to realizing that we need you. We need your strength. We need your protection. But it's not enough if you protect us, but we don't protect one another. We've got to understand how powerful that is. We can't all carry, you know, the weapons. There are different types of weapons. Some, it's our voice. Okay? Come on, talk to us.
You know, I always say that in warfare, all the generals to the front, women and children fall to the rear as stretcher bearers. You know, in a real revolution, there's never ever been a revolution without bloodshed. And so, you know, people play with this. It's not a game. You know, people try to understand why the Black Lives Matter has shooken up the industry, because it's taken the word black. You know, I'm 47 years old, and I grew up in a time when you were proud to be black. Now, to say black, you black anything, you blackballed. Politically, you blackballed. In the NBA, you blackballed. You better say African American. If you start talking about that black stuff, as they like to say, it's over with. So, you know, I'm going to push back. I'm at the front, and I'm asking every brother to help lead this charge. The women, yes, you can join us, you can help us, but it's our responsibility to lead this charge as men. It must start with us. Until black men stand up and start to fight and start to work together, our homes will be fractured. It was never designed for the women to lead these homes singly, by themselves. So until we pull ourselves together by the bootstraps, we're going to struggle. So I think 2017 is going to be a hot summer. Get ready. Make sure you get the seatbelt on. It's going down.
What do you think as it relates to, you know, we have those who are incarcerated, blacks who are incarcerated, male and females, even our juvenile centers, and, you know, they have access to Facebook and they can hear what's going on. What do we want to say to them?
that they, especially those that's been affected by the drug war, they political prisoners. I mean, perfect example. I mean, you got the whole country turned upside down. 300,000 people in immigration. 300,000 people were processed into this country. 300,000. And 109 people were detained, and we're going to go to war? You're shutting down the cities, the whole night. What about all the brothers that's going to jail every single day, nationally? Houses kicked in, broken up from their families, detained and thrown into detention camps, and then still suffering to this day. I mean, it's a double standard. So if you're going to have sanctuary cities for every illegal, I didn't say legal now, every illegal immigrant, and you're going to allow them to have sanctuary, then you shouldn't arrest now one brother with dope in his pockets. You're trying to make a dollar, you got to feed his family. Isn't that what this whole conversation is about? The reason that it's legitimate for them to break the law. We live in a law land. This is a law. This is a country of laws. And if everybody got to play by the rules, then we all do. It's no separate. So what I'm looking at is it's a double standard. So if that's the way it's gonna be sanctuary, then hey, we may as well protect our brothers in North Minneapolis and Detroit and Newark and Oakland, New Orleans. Hey, sell your dope, man. This don't kill nobody. I know you got to make a dollar. That's the same excuse they're using for the illegal immigrants. I mean, and then on top of that, they just stole Social Security numbers. How you paying taxes if you ain't got no Social Security number? What, you using my name? Let me stop. Let me stop with that one.
You know, again, this kicking off Black History Month, we are on the map for that purpose. So why not bring truth? Why not speak truth to our own people? That's what's important in this hour. Others benefit by learning who we are and understanding how and where we fit in all of this. But our humanity is at stake. We are Black, and so much has come out of our lineage as Blacks, you know, and even though you tend to think that, before you knew it, we were grouped into the category of African Americans. But what's really interesting here, but it is a truth if you really look at it, when it comes to grants and all these kinds of things, and you step up to the plate and you participate in that and you only fill in African American, you're really not benefiting, because at that point our numbers help boost another race that's in that group. Whether it's Latino, I'm not hating on anybody. This is Black History Month, and it is our responsibility to empower, educate, and engage us. Unapologetically Black. And so what happens is those numbers go up, and so that grant gets awarded, all right? But is that grant impacting our people? Our community? You have to think about that. But when we hit that box that says Black, 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 and you see our numbers as Blacks, and then we're able to get those resources for our people in our community, it makes the difference. It changes everything. So I want you to consider that on your employment applications and these kinds of things, instead of African American
or people of color,
or even people of color. You found that we got caught up in that stream. They wanted us to sign off as people of color. Well, there's a whole lot of people of color. In case you all didn't know that, there's a whole lot of people of color, all right? We've all got different colors, but we are Black. And so that needs to be known. And until we take that place back, our children are at stake. Our children are in jeopardy of being left alone to themselves. So we're looking forward to following Master Michael Kuykindall as he is building his documentary on the dreadlocks, locks, etc. And he'll be doing some studying even more so on. Come on, he's having lunch right now. We're gonna chime out here just real quick. What do you want to say to everyone?
Excuse me. So I'm working on my documentary. It's called From the Roots. I'll be interviewing my clients. I'm gonna be. I have so many different clients from different backgrounds, athletes, people from the streets, corporate, kids, old, white, Asian.
Listen, he travels and he
everybody.
has clients around the country. Don't get it twisted.
My first time I'm going to be interviewing people to be March 9th. I believe it's a Thursday. It's at the Machine Shop. It's kind of like I'm going to do almost like a hair show, but it's a lot of other artisans and people there. So I'll share the information as soon as I get a chance, but it'll be March 9th at the Machine Shop from about 8 to 12. In my section, it'll be kind of like a hair show, and I'll set up a space to do like personal interviews and stuff like that for my documentary. It's in process now, but that's like one of my first projects that I'll do as far as recording. And like again, it's called From the Roots. And if you want to be a part of it, just let me know. My email is natureofmath@gmail. And then I'll always be at the shop. I'm always working, so feel free to stop by. I'll be talking about the history of locks and situations like today, talking about the Congress and circuit courts passing ruling on locks in the workplace. And just I'm going to do a lot of research on it. So just let me know if you have anything to add to it, or if you want to be a part of it, just let me know. And that's probably about it as far as locks.
All right. All right. Wow. We just hope, is there anyone else that would like to share anything before we wrap up, young man? All right. We're going to wrap up.
Next time.
It is. I believe that we've given you, you know what? I've got cords around me. That's how much I love you all. I was wondering what that was around my neck.
Going way back in the days, huh?
All right. But I want to look at, all right. Again, I want to thank those of you that chimed in and the comments that you're making. And, you know, our goal is that you would keep the dialogue going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep thinking about this. Bless you, Pastor Uriah Kane, and so many others. Take this back, into, what? Would you even consider, let me challenge you. It's Wednesday, so tonight is church night. Change up a little bit. How about play this broadcast? Show this Facebook Live. Get some feedback from your congregants. There isn't anything that we've talked about that our children don't already get wind of. But why not have this dialogue right there in Bible study? And see what the feedback is. It'll give you an opportunity to identify and to reach your young people right where they're at. So I challenge you to do so and consider this. And I believe some of you will. Thank you, Houston White, for being with us. I appreciate him. Our young people will be on site at H. White Men's Room in North Minneapolis, and that owner is Houston White, and that's our YIG Showcase Rising Stars, and they'll be talking about what's cracking, and so that'll be this month. But again, just wanted to encourage your hearts. Stir it up a little bit with some of you, and we're outside of the box. We're out of the box. Black is beautiful, and that's who we are. And you were watching my hair, really? Part 2. Stay with us. We've got so much more to bring to you. But until next time, can you sign off like you usually do? We've got to do it real quick. We're running out of power here.
We'll see you next week, and next week we're gonna jump on top of immigration, and y'all stay from downtown. That's not your fight. That's not your battle. Don't be go picking and poking people. Mind your own business. You live a lot longer. Thank you.
Can we get a hand in here? Show us some love. Come on, y'all. Come on, everybody. Oh, no.